Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're going to dive into a story that goes beyond the usual legends. A tale that finds the true spirit of Dussehra not in a grand epic battle, but in the quiet courage of a young boy's heart. This is the story of the Forgotten Arrow. Imagine the town of Ayodhya alive with the magic of Dussehra. For weeks, the air has been buzzing with excitement. Every street is a river of colorful lights. Every home is adorned with garlands of bright marigold and fresh mango leaves. In the town square, colossal effigies of Ravana, Kumbhakarna, and Megnath stand tall, their 10 heads painted in menacing shades of red and black, staring down at the joyful chaos below. The air is a symphony of scents, sweet jalabis, savory samosas, roasted peanuts, and the comforting aroma of chai, all mingling with incense and the glow of oil lamps. It's a festival for the senses. Children, with gleams in their eyes, run through the streets with their toy bows and arrows, their voices echoing with shouts of Jai Shri Ram. Families are gathering, their faces lit with anticipation for the grand ceremony. But amidst this sea of celebration, a 12-year-old boy named Arjun walks alone. His hands are tucked deep in his pockets, his gaze distant. While other children laugh and play, Arjun carries a heavy weight on his small shoulders, the weight of recent failure. He'd failed his school exams, and his father's harsh words still stung, questioning his effort, his discipline. The festive cheer around him feels like a language he no longer understands. Every laugh, every joyful shout is just a painful reminder of his own shortcomings. His mother, seeing his downcast face, tries to offer comfort. She gently brushes a stray hair from his forehead and says softly, "Arjun, Dussehra isn't just about winning or losing. It's about learning, growing, and facing your fears. Come, try to enjoy the festival." But Arjun just shakes his head, unable to find any joy. He wanders over to the giant Ravana effigy, staring up at its 10 fierce faces. In the flickering torchlight, the painted eyes seem to follow him, and a shiver runs down his spine. He's always loved the stories of Lord Rama, the tales of courage and victory. But tonight, that story feels distant, disconnected from his own world of doubt and disappointment. Just then, his grandmother, his Amma, finds him. She had just finished her prayers at a nearby temple and now leads him to a quiet spot under a large banyan tree where the last rays of the evening sun filter through the leaves. "Why so quiet, Arjun?" she asks, her voice as warm and gentle as the golden light. Arjun sighs, the weight on his chest finally finding a voice. "Amma, I failed again. Everyone expects me to be just like them. Today, while everyone is so happy, I feel like I've already lost. I feel small." Amma doesn't lecture or scold. She simply smiles, her eyes full of a deep, knowing understanding. She points towards the towering effigy. "Arjun, do you see that? Do you know why we burn him every year?" "Yes, Amma," he replies quietly, "because Lord Rama defeated him." Her smile deepens. "Yes, that is true, but there is more to it. Ravana is not just a demon from a storybook. He lives inside every human heart. He is our anger, our pride, our greed, and our fear. Every year, we burn this effigy to remind ourselves that we must confront this evil both inside us and around us." Arjun looks at her, a spark of curiosity in his doubtful eyes. "But Amma, how can we fight him inside us? He's so strong." Amma places a comforting hand on his shoulder. "With courage, Arjun. With truth, with kindness, you may fall, you may fail. But even one small act of bravery, one moment of honesty, burns a little piece of that Ravana away." Those words settle in Arjun's heart. He follows Amma back to the festival grounds, where the sun has now completely set. The entire town has gathered. The massive effigies loom against the dark evening sky, surrounded by a galaxy of flickering lamps and torches. The crowd begins to chant, "Jai Shri Ram," and the rhythmic beat of the drums feels like the town's collective heartbeat. The town elder steps forward, holding the ceremonial flaming arrow. A hush falls over the crowd, the air thick with anticipation. With a solemn chant, He draws the bow and releases the arrow. For a breathless moment, it soars, a fiery streak destined for Ravana's heart. But then, a sudden, powerful gust of wind sweeps across the field. The arrow veers off course, misses its mark, and falls harmlessly to the ground. Its flame extinguished, a collective gasp ripples through the crowd. Murmurs of disbelief and worry spread like wildfire. Is this a bad omen? A villager whispers. Perhaps Ravana does not wish to burn this year, another says nervously. In that moment of collective doubt, Arjun feels a tug in his heart. His father's disappointed words echo in his mind. But then, another voice rises, quiet but clear, his grandmother's words, echoing an ancient truth. Even the greatest heroes sometimes miss. What matters is not the fall, but the courage to rise and try again. Without a second thought, Arjun steps out from the crowd. Everyone falls silent, their eyes fixed on this small boy approaching the giant effigy. He bends, Doom picks up the fallen arrow and holds it. His hands tremble, but his eyes, reflecting the torchlight, are filled with a newfound determination. He murmurs to himself so quietly that only he can hear, evil doesn't burn by itself. We must face it with courage. He positions the arrow and draws back the bow. His arms shake with the effort, but his heart is steady. He takes a deep breath, closes his eyes for a second, and releases it. Time itself seems to slow down. The arrow traces a perfect, beautiful arc through the night sky. And then, it strikes right in the effigy's heart. Sparks fly, and in an instant, flames erupt, greedily consuming Ravana from the bottom up. The 10 heads blaze, glowing like molten suns against the darkness before they crumble into ash. The crowd erupts in a deafening cheer, a sound of pure joy and relief that echoes across the town. Hi Shri Ram! Hi Shri Ram! Amid the celebration, the town elder walks over to Arjun and places a heavy hand on his shoulder. Today, Arjun, he says, his voice filled with admiration, you have done more than just burn Ravana. You have reminded all of us of the true spirit of Dussehra, the courage to rise after failure, the strength to face our inner demons, and the will to triumph over darkness. Tears well up in Arjun's eyes, but these are not tears of sadness. For the first time in a long time, he feels a sense of pride, not because he hit the target perfectly, but because he dared to try when everyone else had hesitated. As the flames die down, Arjun's friends run up to him, their eyes wide with awe. You did it. Juan exclaims. Another adds, you taught us something tonight. Real courage isn't about being strong. It's about standing up even when you're afraid. Arjun then turns and sees his father, who had been watching silently from the edge of the crowd. His father walks over, kneels down to look him in the eye, and his own eyes are glistening. I see now, he whispers, his voice thick with emotion. The battle we fight is not against others, but against the fears, the pride, and the doubts we carry inside ourselves. That night, as Arjun walks home with his family, the last ashes of Ravana float into the wind. Glowing faintly in the moonlight, he makes a quiet promise to himself. Every Dussehra, I will not only burn the Ravana outside, but also the one inside me. I will rise after every fall, face my fears, and always choose courage. From that day on, Arjun approached life differently. Failure no longer held the same power over him. Every challenge became an opportunity to burn a little piece of the Ravana within, and to let the light of his own courage and truth shine brighter. And in the town of Ayodhya, year after year, as the effigies burned, the story of the boy who dared to pick up the forgotten arrow was told and retold. It became a quiet, powerful reminder that the greatest victory we can ever achieve is the one over the darkness in our own hearts. Thank you so much for joining me for this story. I hope it inspires you to find your own courage, to face your own inner Ravana, and to remember that every failure is just a setup for a comeback. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, share it with someone who might need to hear it, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that touch the heart. Until next time, be brave.